Here every week, we do the check up from the neck up and we cover the furniture. And I know some people say, well, why are you covering the furniture? Why do you cover the same things? Well, think about it. If you woke up in your residence yesterday and the bathroom was on one side of the house and your belt and your watch and your keys were on another side of the house, and then your closet was in another part of the house, it'd be kind of confusing. It'd be discombobulated, right? That's what builds businesses. The opposite of that, consistency. People knowing where the key is at, knowing where their clothes are at, knowing where the dishes are at, knowing where their shoes are at. That's what we do here. We make sure that we create a consistent, fertile environment for our new partners. So that's why it's important that we do this. We share the principles that have binded and built the success that you are heard many people speak to during our testimonies. We celebrate, edify, and protect. It's a big deal. Here, we hold each other up, right? If you got the Jerry Springer show taking place at work, at home, other places, that's not okay. But it's definitely not okay here. We don't do that here, right? We support, we edify, we support each other. We make sure people understand that while they may be in business for themselves, not by themselves, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. So you're not going to find any of that cacophony here. That's not what we do. The culture we build is to lift as we climb, right? We leave the activity and work side by side. We invest in personal development. We use third-party tools. And of course, we provide that uplifting service agreement. At the end of the day, we don't exist if not for our members, right? Making sure our members are happy, making sure our members are leveling up, whether it be personally or in their businesses. And of course, supporting each other, right? Making sure we're leveling up as compadres and teammates as well. So that's it. I'm skipping through a couple slides. I do want to recognize individuals who performance code qualified on the previous month. I know this list is going to grow exponentially over the next couple days and weeks as we have new partners who are just crushing it out here, making it happen in their business. I'm so excited for individuals. And but this is what we do, man. We recognize those individuals performance code qualified. It's like the building blocks of the business. It's a hobby. To be real with you, and if it's a hobby for you, it's okay. But for those who are serious about building a big business, getting to the point where your business begins to grow away from you, getting to a point where you're building that residual income that Ms. Webb just talked about, Performance Club is where it's at. So we'll recognize Ms. Selena Wells, give myself a pat on the back, JSB Financial, Ms. Nicole Rogers, Mr. Temple, who Performance Club qualifies on a weekly basis, Dr. Angela Roman, and Z Essentials, in other words, Teams Zanara Bevelle and Raynetta Bradley, right? And the one thing you'll find about individuals Performance Club qualify on a regular basis, they are into that personal development. 9 times out of 10, I guarantee they are listening to something positive. They have something affirming in their lives, right? They are curating their lives inside their minds, right? I've always heard it said best like this: the most important story that you ever tell yourself, most important you ever hear, that is the story you tell yourself about yourself. And so you want to make sure that you're pouring into yourself positive things. You also want to make sure you're learning, right? We know the book of the month is Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. It's a phenomenal book. He's one of the leading thought leaders or SMEs in the leadership space. He has helped, at this point, hundreds, if not thousands of executives build Fortune 500 companies and scale and grow. You definitely want to get that book. You want to pour into yourself, right? The key performance indicators, we know what those are, right? Exposures, acquiring referrals, presentations, right? And three-way calls. If you are aware of your key performance indicators and you're focused on those things, you'll perform so qualify. And of course, staying connected and attending the big events. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. All right. The reason why Performance Club is important, because if you want to get to executive director, because make no doubt about it, you're practicing at this thing until you get there. This is what you want to be building for. You want to be Performance Club qualified. You want to be asking referrals, right? 3 types of referrals we ask for is you want to help, who you know is a business owner, particularly a business owner of employees. And who do you know who's looking, right? Who's sick and tired of the check, not afraid of work, right? Motivated, likes helping people, likes working people. They're the plug, so to speak, right? You want to be asked for those individuals. And if you're Performance Club qualified, you teach 3 others to do the same. All they need to do is teach 3 other partners to do the same. You're executive director, and then you're on the other side of money where you truly have a business that is passively and residually paying you a 6-figure income, right? So people always make the 2-step of salsa. We like to simplify it. If you remember nothing else from tonight in terms of how to structure and build your business, remember that picture you're looking at right there. Okay, so what's next? Well, once again, a little bit more furniture. We're going to talk about the momentum call. So I'm not going to cover it right now. That takes place Sundays at 8 p.m. That's where you can get your inspiration, motivation. You have, of course, the Team New Horizons briefing and getting started right training, which transpires Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Soon as that briefing ends, there is a 8 p.m. training for individuals who say, not only am I interested in the membership, but I'm interested in partnering with you all. It's like you're having fun, you earn a lot of money, we're about that life. And at 8 p.m., we give them a quick 15 minutes look. This is how you get it done. Like, this is how you launch your business effectively. We have our Team Prosperity Partners, which is our team compadres, our broader organization we participate and partner with as Prosperity Partners. I like that name, Prosperity Partners, Tuesday at 7 p.m. That's a recruiting call, right? Not a heavy emphasis on B2B, primarily just a base membership and recruiting. And then, of course, Wednesdays at 12 o'clock, we have our B2B solutions where you can invite guests and prospects who are interested in simply learning about the business services. So they're not interested in being recruited. Of course, every business owner, well, not every, but most business owners have families, right? Responsibilities, people other than themselves. But that call really, really goes in and focuses on the business services and how it can benefit them. And then, of course, once again, our core training transpires Wednesdays at 7 p.m. I'm not going to reiterate this, and I'm going to touch it here in a moment. Of course, we want to make sure everybody joins Slack, right? Where you can communicate, give people shout outs. You can learn about the trainings. You can learn about the events that are transpiring. You can connect with other compadres. I always get excited when I find out that our partners all over the United States are connecting with each other in different states here on Slack, because that's what it's there for, right? And it can't replace us being belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, and shaking hands and laughing and having a good time together, but at least gives people a chance to actually talk to people they can identify with, ask questions, inquire about different things going on in their business. So definitely, we want to make sure everybody that joins Team New Horizons is on our Slack channel. And then, of course, we have our onboarding page where the trainings are archived. I know the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, the trainings have not been archived. They will be archived. It just took a little while to download them and get them up to YouTube, and now they're going to be posted on our Success Playbook page, right? So you see the link down at the bottom. If you have not been to that site, check your first 3 days email, or definitely take a snapshot and visit it so you can see the trainings that you missed. All right. Of course, our small business briefing transpires Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? This briefing is powerful. I encourage people to take advantage of it. We have a very high closing rate because, look, it's a difference between hearing this information via Zoom, right, with talking heads on the screen versus showing up, shaking people's hands, getting the chance to ask questions in real time and real living color, so to speak. You want to definitely make sure you plug people to the briefing. That's where we went, right? That's where the camaraderie is built. That's where the synergy is created. So you make sure you invite people to the briefing. All right. So what I want to get into tonight, which is why I'm moving through so fast, is tonight I want to talk about the tools. I want to talk about what's in your toolbox, right? Because I'm going to tell you one of the biggest mistakes people make when they join our business model. We hear this all the time, and you probably hear it from time to time too, right? People will say, look, I want to join. I'm excited about this. The membership makes sense. I'm using it. I'm leveling up. I see the value. But man, I don't want to join until I can set aside the time. I don't want to join until I feel like I can set aside all the energy that's required. I don't want to join right now because, I just don't have, I don't have 20, 30 hours a week. I don't have, 15, 20 hours a week. I just don't have it. And I want to join when the time is convenient. And look, that's the mindset typically of an employee or a self-employed person or a business owner that hasn't made the transition to building their business into a passive situation, right? Because when you're at that stage of business or you're at that stage in terms of your career, you are trading your time for dollars. And the only tool you have available is you, right? We know what we've been taught. You go to school, make good grades, go out and get a good job, right? And then you go to the job or you become a self-employed person and you become the best. You become elite, the best presenter, the best organizer, the best, marketer, the best tax and accounting person, the best A through Z, right? You're trying to be CEO, CFO, COO, CMO, trying to be HR, tax accounting, everything underneath the sun, right? And when people look at our business model, they don't understand that's not what transpires here. This is different, right? And for those who are having success, they'll speak to that. They'll speak to the fact that, look, 1 hour a week, they are earning more money than people who are working 30 and 40 hours a week. 1 hour a week, right? It's pretty phenomenal when you think about it. And it's because of the tools, right? So we don't want you to be like that guy there in the right-hand corner trying to lift the weight yourself, trying to recreate the wheel, creating a situation where you're trying to do everything. If you want to do that, stay at the job. If you want to do that, you continue to build a business where you have to get up every single morning and do the work, and you never really create financial independence, right? For those of you who came to PPLSI Leadership because you wanted to build a business, meaning something that earns revenues independent of your sweat equity at some point. That's the goal, right? To become a business owner. Well, we're going to talk about tonight. And the way that you do that is to adopt the mindset that I'm trying to share with you and to utilize tools, right? So what tools do you have in your toolbox? What tools do you have available to you? So the first tool you have available to you, and I know most people don't think about it like this, but I want you to understand we're all independent franchise owners. We're in a franchise-like system, right? And as a result, just like any other franchise, there's a support network that's dedicated to supporting the franchises in the system, right? Because we're all independent franchise owners. I'm going to repeat that over and over again, right? Oh, okay. Ms. Webb is communicating. I'm just going to ignore that and keep it moving. There are 700 employees in Ada, Oklahoma. I think we still may have some in Dallas. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we have 700 employees that are dedicated to supporting your business. They're dedicated to teaching you about how to access LS Engage. They're dedicated to teaching you how to find out where marketing materials at. They're dedicated to teaching you about the compensation plan. I would not take strategic or tactical advice from them, but they are there to teach you about how to understand your compensation plan. Any and everything as it relates to finding marketing materials are provided by the company, accessing prospect by PPLSI, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to find that there with associate services, right? And I just want you to keep in mind, these 700 employees work for you. Okay, they work for you. When we submit a membership, 1/3 of the revenues as a result of that membership being written, of course, you got to pay the firms because the firms don't get paid. They're not going to do the work, right? But they also have an incentive to do a good job because the more members we enroll, the more we pay them, right? And then the service gets better because they keep improving the services because they're being paid more. But just know 1/3 goes to them. The other 1/3 goes to the employees in Ada, Oklahoma, right? So you don't have to keep up with tax and accounting and go out and get QuickBooks and ADP and all these other services that are typically required to run a business. No, those 700 employees do all these things for you. They are your back office. Same thing with client services. That's your back office, right? They're there to answer questions about the membership. They're there to help you resolve issues and challenges that may come up when you enroll somebody. These individuals work for you. They work for you. And so what I want to make sure that people are aware of is that, look, especially in the middle of the day, like from 10 o'clock a.m. really until about 5, 6 o'clock p.m., that's prime time. That's time where you should be out prospecting. That's time where you should be out talking to people. That's time where you should be out sharing the story about your business and taking on more clients. First thing in the morning before California wakes up, you want to be calling up associate services and client services to resolve matters. Or after 6, 7 o'clock, you want to be utilizing that time to give associate services and client services a call to resolve matters, right? And so I want to make sure that particularly the new individuals know this, right? If you have questions about accessing websites and things like that, your support team, we're out here doing 3-way calls. We're doing presentations. We're following up with individuals on your behalf. You really want to dedicate a lot of those questions towards associate services and client services. I want to make sure that you're aware of that. But what else do you have in your toolbox? Well, if you log into LS Engage, you have business links. Now, look, it will take me all day to cover all these business links, so I'm not going to do it. But I do want to point out a couple business links that are really important to you and your business. So the first being the placement utility. When you onboard someone, keep in mind, you are the CEO of your own company. So when you onboard a new prosperity partner, when you onboard a new affiliate or a new associate, you can actually strategically place those associates within your organization. Yeah, most people didn't know that. Yeah, you can do that. You want to go to your placement utility and you want to turn that placement utility from automatic to manual, because if it's on automatic, the company determines how your business is organized. And keep in mind, you want to take responsibility for everything that happens in your business, right? To the extent that you can. And to the extent you've been trained to do so. Display facility is important. Commission statement speaks for itself. I'm not going to talk about that. Submit application. Look, it's a great tool to have, right? But what I really want to focus on is application and document upload programs. So this is what you can use to upload applications. So I took an application yesterday. It was somebody who was old school, right? She's like, I don't do that online. So, she was an older person. It is what it is, right? She's like, I'm not comfortable with online. I'm not comfortable providing information like that. I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with Zoom. I'm not comfortable with that. I said, okay, fine. How about we do this? How about we burn down some trees? Let me stop being facetious. How about we write down your information on a piece of paper? And that's what I did. We have actually physical applications, the way we used to do it before we had this website. And you can download those applications on your Ellis & Gates. So I literally had the document already. I had it printed up. I took the information. I'm going to scan it into my phone, and then I'm going to go to Ellis & Gage on my phone, and I'm going to upload it through the application upload. So this is where you can submit documents to corporate. So whether it's issues related to taxes, issues related to uploading the application that may need to be corrected, you can do it all there. And the thing I love about that upload item there is this: you can track everything. So if you upload something and for some reason it gets lost in the mix at corporate, maybe it's the end of the month, you got a million people doing things at the last minute, and sometimes things fall through the cracks, you can call them up. And if you uploaded it through that program, you can literally see the documents and view the documents right along with them. So I think that's pretty exciting. All right. Tax information speaks for itself. Prospect PPLSI, please learn about Prospect PPLSI. It makes life so much easier when you don't have to figure out what videos, what tools to send to people. Prospect PPLSI automates your business. It allows you to build your business from the comfort of your home, quite frankly, anywhere, right? I love enrolling clients. Love enrolling clients from at the airport because you always have time, right? I don't know about you, but for some reason, I always get caught up in these 2-3 hour delays and layovers. And what I will do is I will go to the nearest restaurant or cafe or whatever. I'll sit where there's a group of people and I'll say something called hi. I'll introduce myself to people. I'll talk to them. I'll chat with them. They're not doing anything. They're just as annoyed or just like I am, right? And I've made friends while I'm at the airport. And they'll ask me, what do I do? And I'll go to Prospect PPLSI. I'll say, look, I can show you better than I can tell you. And I'll send them a video. If they look at the video, they like the video, at least to my website, I get an enrollment. You want Prospect PPLSI on your phone. It makes life a lot easier. All right. The thing I really wanted to talk about tonight, though, in terms of this particular tool, is you should see the membership assist form, right? This form is so important to your business. Look, you hear me say it during the presentations all the time. The attorneys don't have magic pixie dust. Lightning's not going to strike your enemies when you give us a phone call, right? So we can't be all things to all people. We are very valuable and very good at what we do, but we cannot resolve everything. It's not designed to take care of certain issues. And if you pay attention to that 25% discount section, we're kind of telling you what is really not designed to do, right? In terms of things that we don't cover 100%. We cover most things 100%, but there's certain things we're not designed to do. But you know what? The other thing that you need to be aware of is the attorneys are human beings. I've had this membership since 2008. I probably use it, my gosh, on a slow week, I probably interact with the law firm 2 to 3 times a week. On a week where I'm got a lot of things going on, man, I may end up interacting with them at least 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a week. Dogs don't bark at parked cars. If you're building businesses, answering questions, talking to people, things are going on, I don't like being in the dark about anything. So I will pick up the phone and I'll chat. I got 4 or 5 different issues I want to talk to them about tomorrow, right? But sometimes I'll admit, since I've had the plan since 2008, there have been 4 times where the attorneys have dropped the ball, right? And, my quote unquote sponsor, the individual introduced me to the business, that person wasn't around when I had issues with the membership. So what I've been able to do when I've had member issues with the membership, if an attorney didn't do something they were supposed to do, or I felt like they didn't follow through on what's provided by our membership, what we have now is a membership assist form. And you can go there in that membership assist form and you can provide the name, phone number. You provide your associate number so they know who actually is submitting the complaint. You can provide the membership number. And if you really are on top of your game, the case number. You can submit it to the membership assist form. That goes to corporate. Now, I want to put something in perspective for you. It's being recorded, so I can't say something inappropriate that I normally would say. But I just want you to understand this. Parker and Stanberry is our provider law firm out in California. Okay, California is a big state. Allstate is one of Parker and Stanberry's clients. It's like the fourth, fifth largest insurance company in the world. And they pay that firm $60,000 a month to serve their needs, which is a pretty penny. You know, that's a salary of an attorney, a good attorney, on a monthly basis. That's not chump change, right? $60,000 a month. That's a big deal. Well, guess what? We pay that same firm upwards of $2 million per month. So when they wake up in the morning, who are they thinking about? Right? They're thinking about that network that is paying them $2 million per month, that network being us, the members. It's our responsibility as associates to make sure the firms are being held accountable. It's our responsibility to keep up with our members, ask them questions, find out if they're having a good experience. That's part of uplifting service agreement. And an important tool in your toolbox to help you with that is this membership assist form. So I had a situation that transpired years ago where I was dealing with a family law issue in Chicago, Illinois, contacted an attorney. And to be frank with you, they did their job, but they were rude. They were obnoxious. It was obvious they didn't want to help me out. You know, I'm getting started in my practice as an investment advisor. I'm not earning nothing close to grown adult income. And the person just said something that was really obnoxious. You know, even with the discount, it was still costly, okay? Attorneys out in Chicago, family law issues, they don't ask for $2,000 retainers. They want $4,000 and $5,000 retainers. I can't do that. I was like, can we work out something? And the person basically said, if you can't afford to pay me $4,000 or $5,000, then you shouldn't be pursuing your children anyway. I was like, oh, really? That's what we doing, right? So I hung up the phone with the person. I contacted corporate, let them know what was said to me. And a little over a month and a half later, that person was no longer part of our provider network, right? The bottom line is PPLSI and our law firms know that bad news travels faster than good. They can't afford to have situations like that happening. So it's our responsibility. We're on the front lines. We're the ones sharing the services. We're the ones talking to our members, our clients about the services. Oftentimes, we're the ones helping them navigate and utilize the membership. We need to be involved in this process as well. Don't have a member out there disgruntled and upset when we simply could have contacted corporate, and like they did with me, they just gave me another attorney who was way more willing and helpful and more willing to work things out for me so I can go ahead and pursue custody and acquire custody of my children. Okay, so be aware that membership assist form is there. Now, there's some other resources here, but I'm not going to do a deep dive into it. Like I said, we'll be on here for the next hour. But I wanted to point out some specific things that I know would be very helpful that, quite frankly, when your brand's spanking new, some of these things kind of slip through the cracks. You're not even aware. Even people who've been with the company forever sometimes forget that some of these resources are available, right? So I want to make sure we have a good handle on that. Now, look, we have a business briefing and Get It Started Right call. Once again, transpires Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Where people jump on, they get to hear the B2B flavor that we roll with here at Team New Horizons, particularly for individuals who are entrepreneurs with families or people who have businesses and are looking to scale, right? You already know that every other Tuesday, you have the Team Prosperity Partners briefing and recruiting call that transpires at 7 p.m. That is a recruiting call, okay, where you invite people on. And these are people that you want to introduce to the membership, but make no doubt about it. The flavor of that call is to recruit people to join us as affiliates and as associates. And then you have the B2B call that transpires Wednesday 12, which focuses on strictly, this is how you utilize the service to grow your business. Okay. I can't communicate the importance of that call enough. I had 2 enrollments yesterday. Those 2 enrollments occurred, and I'm going to tell you what the person said to me. One of the individuals was in Texas. And after I got done sharing the presentation, the same presentation that we share typically with most of our presentations, and definitely on that B2B, she said, Mr. Buford, I had 10 people this year approach. She said, at least 10 people approached me about PPLSI Legal Shield. And my first gut response was, well, you should go back with them. Like, We don't believe in cannibalizing our own partners. If somebody's been approaching about this, you should go talk to them. She says, no, I'm not going to talk to them. She said, because every time they approached me, they were trying to talk me into joining the business. I'm already a business owner. I already have a passion for the thing that I'm doing. I'm already pursuing the thing that gets me excited. I'm not interested in joining anyone else's thing. But you were the first person to approach me and talk to me about how this company can help me grow my business. And that's why I'm enrolling with you. Right? There's a reason why our presentations are done a certain type of way, because most business owners are, quite frankly, committed to their business. But we know 20% of them are not. 20% of people who are in business are entrepreneurs, meaning they don't mind looking at other endeavors, but that's not everybody, right? Now, I talked to you about what this is. Now, I'm going to talk to you about how you utilize this and why these calls are important, right? Because these are your tools. I want you to think about each one of those presentations as your employee. So you're a business owner. You know you are in a B2B solutions business, right? We market and share services for individuals who are looking primarily to level up financially, personally, in their business and their legal lives, right? Deal with legal situations. And you can be the one to go out and share it with them by yourself, right? So you can go out and you can spend 30 minutes per person. So if you're doing this part-time, spare time, that means max, you can share this with 2 people per day. 5 days a week, you'll end up sharing this with 10 people. That's one way to go about it. Nothing wrong with that. I'm old school. I'm still, even though I utilize the calls and I utilize the briefings, I'm still comfortable with that belly-to-belly eyeball approach because that's what I did for 20 years, right? Or you can be like Ms. Rogers' new business partner, who had 8 people on a call today in about a 30, 40-minute period of time. What's better? Right? I want you to think like business owners. Each one of these presentations are your employees. Put your employees to work, right? If I had somebody with 20 years of sales experience that was accustomed to sitting down with complete strangers and then 30 to 40 minutes later, they're cutting them a check for $20 million of their hard-earned assets, I would say that's a pretty effective presenter. That's a pretty effective person in sales. That's a really effective person when it comes to communicating a value prop. I want you to put these employees to work on your behalf. That's how I want you to think about it, right? On the Team Prosperity Partner call, you have Mr. Eon Valance, who's been with the business part-time, spare time, retired his wife, retired himself. Now all he does is travel the United States. That's what he utilizes passive residual income for. So he is very often involved in that briefing that transpires, particularly that recruiting call with Team Prosperity Partners. I want you to see him as an employee. I want you to put him to work, as opposed to you running around trying to catch up with people all the time. Sometimes it's necessary, right? But just like in that earlier picture, right, when I showed that guy struggling to lift a weight, it's easier to lift a refrigerator with a dolly, right, in the bottom right-hand corner than to try to lift it yourself. Some of us, we are out here trying to lift a refrigerator without a dolly. We're trying to lift this business. We're trying to lift something that's meant to be a business, but we're treating it like a self-employed endeavor. That's what we're doing. And so that's why your business might not be growing as fast. You might not be getting the results that you want because some of us are doing too much. It's being real. Some of us are doing too much unnecessarily, right? So I want you to think about these tools like a dolly. I want you to think about these opportunities like your employees. Put these briefings to work for you. Employ them, right? If you have business owners that take breaks in the middle of the day, invite them onto that briefing Wednesday at 12, where they can learn strictly about the service. And trust me, seeds are planted for individuals who might be entrepreneurial, who might want to inquire a little bit more, right? But understand, I want you to think about your business this way. What are some other tools that you have available to you? You have the Team Prosperity Partners Recognition and Momentum Call. You have our core training, which transpires Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Once again, Tuesdays every other week. So every 2 weeks, there's a 7 p.m. presentation, but there's also a Getting Started Right training. Look, for the business owners, if this resonates with you, and for the new people who may not be business owners or full-time business owners, I want you to pay attention to this. So the business owners are listening, meaning we're full-time entrepreneurs. This is how we earn our money. This is how we pay our bills. Is not hiring employees, training employees, motivating employees the most expensive and difficult thing we do in our businesses. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
There it is. Notice the individuals who are going hard at this, who are like, look, I want my business to be the thing that I get 100% of my income from. The hardest thing that we do is finding talent, hiring talent, onboarding talent, and training talent. It's the hardest thing that we do. It is the most expensive thing that we do. For a traditional business owner, it's the biggest expense item in anything involved with their business. As an entrepreneur and as a business owner, you have three primary responsibilities. And I hope you're taking notes on this. The first responsibility you have is to communicate expectations. The expectation that you're going to fast track qualify. The expectation that we're going to help you rank advance. The expectation that you're going to go executive director. You don't tell people what to do, but you plant the expectation. Because otherwise, why are you building this? Now, there's some people who want to earn an extra 500, who want to earn an extra 2,000. There's nothing wrong with that. Extra $500 a month, that's an extra $6,000 a year. That's a zip code change. That will significantly improve your standard of living. That's upgrading vehicles. That's you not struggling to rob Peter to pay Paul, right? Nothing wrong with that. But when I onboard someone, I immediately look at them and what I see is an executive director. They don't know whether or not, they don't know what executive director is. They don't know, they may not even know that I'm looking at them that way. But every person I onboard them with the attitude that I'm going to help this person go executive director. I'm going to pray and hope they're willing to allow me to serve them and help them get there, right? So one of your first responsibility is to communicate expectations. The expectation that you show up to the briefing Monday. The expectation that you show up to this core training. The expectations that you show up to the minimum call. Why? Because these things will help you build your business faster. They help you build your business faster, right? The next thing that is your responsibility as an entrepreneur or business owner, and it doesn't matter how big your business, I don't care if you're Starbucks, I don't care if you're the cleaners on the corner of the block, right? You communicate expectations to the people you work with. The next thing you do is you make sure they have every opportunity to level up in their skills. Not everybody's going to want to be accountable. Not everybody's going to want to read the book of the month. Not everybody, people will respect what you do. They'll love what you do. They'll respect you. But they'll be like, I ain't trying to be accountable to that. I'm just not. I'm not about that life. But for the individuals who are, it's your responsibility to make sure that they're trained properly. Nothing drives me crazier when I'm meeting with a business owner and they're complaining about their employees being lazy. They're complaining about their employees not showing up. They're complaining about their employees not doing the things they're supposed to do. And I turn around and I ask them, where's your employee handbook? I don't have one. Well, what do you expect? They turn around and say, well, I don't have any type of training videos or platform. Like, what do you expect? Right? If you don't give your employees a track to run on, it's a false expectation they're going to have success and build their business to the maximum. Right? It's the same thing in a traditional job. If you work at a company and they don't tell you what the expectations are, and they don't give you a track to run on, they don't put the resources to become smarter, become better at the job, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to get upset. You're going to want to quit. That's why a lot of people quit jobs. Because they feel like they're not being equipped with the tools to get what they need out the job. And sometimes they're not even being equipped with the tools to do the job. And then they got these managers and these owners berating them for not doing the things they're supposed to do. Right? It happens. It goes down. The third thing that every business owner is responsible for, the third thing that every entrepreneur has to do to be successful in business is you have to inspire. You have to motivate. Right? People need to know you, not how much you know, but that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so you have to create an environment where people know that you care, that you're putting in the effort, you're putting in the work, you're doing what needs to be done to make the ground more fertile for their success. And there's going to be disagreements and misunderstandings and everything underneath the sun, right? Because we're human beings and that's what human beings do. right? But people need to know and be inspired by the fact that you're putting forth the work and the effort to give them every opportunity to do the things they want to do. You know how time consuming it is to do all three of those things? To constantly communicate expectations, to constantly communicate what tools are available to help people to level up, to constantly be trying to inspire and motivate people. There's a reason why pastors have church on Sundays or Saturdays, right? They bring people into the congregation because there's no way in the world they have time over the course of the week to engage and touch 3 to 4 to 500 people. So you get them all together at one time to deliver the message, to deliver the inspiration, to deliver the expectations, to put them with the tools to go out here and do spiritual battle. We're in an entrepreneurial battle. Our enemies are poverty, disenfranchisement, and ignorance. Those are our enemies. Those are our real adversaries, right? I want you to think about these trainings as your tools because you're not going to have time to motivate and inspire everyone. You're just not going to have the bandwidth sometimes. You're just not going to have the energy to be transparent. It can be fatiguing to call up grown adults and find ways to influence them to do things they should be doing in their best interest but refuse to do it. That's what that momentum call is about. Sundays at 8 p.m. That's a tool. You should use that tool to inspire yourself, but also to inspire your teammates. Let them hear the success stories. And they hear people from all academic backgrounds, shapes, sizes, socioeconomic status, cultural status, everything. It takes away all excuses. You can't say, I don't have time. I got family. I got children. I'm sick. I'm tired. I had this. I had that. No, you have people who are catching hell on those calls, but they're still crushing it, having $1,000 days despite it all. Just because you choose entrepreneurship at BS.com, don't stop, right? The Wednesday core training, I want you to utilize that as your tool. That's your employee. This core training is your employee. When your team starts to grow, you're not going to have time to train all of them. There's no way in the world I could touch 200-300 people that ultimately I'm responsible for, because indirectly or directly, they came to our organization. I don't have the bandwidth. So that's why we have the email list. That's why we have Slack. That's why we have the Facebook group. That's why we have this core training. Utilize these resources to do the things that one individual can't do. Be a business owner, right? That getting started right training Tuesday at 8 p.m., that's the quickie, right? Where people who may not have the bandwidth to listen to a training for an hour, they may not have the bandwidth, or maybe they're just scared. They're just getting started. And we know the biggest reason why most entrepreneurs fail in the beginning is out of fear, right? That 8 p.m. takes the fear and the anxiety out of it, right? It communicates the expectations, it equips people with tools, and it provides a bit of inspiration. That's your employee. That's the tool in your toolbox. If you're running around trying to do this yourself, you're going to run yourself ragged because you're not being a business owner. You're being a self-employed person. That's why self-employed people don't become financially independent, because 100% of their effort is dedicated or predicated upon them getting up and doing something. I want you to think like a business owner. Utilize the tools in your toolbox, right? We have, once again, the Facebook group. I encourage you, join the Facebook group. I love it when I see people post on Facebook, and particularly when they post pictures of individuals whom they're onboarding, right? Just like I love to see Teeth during the core call, okay? People don't want to join organizations where they don't know who they're working with. They don't know who the people are. People running around looking like glad bags and wondering why their business isn't growing. Because people don't know who you are. They can't see your face. They don't know if you're real or not. 90% of communication is nonverbal. People are not paying attention to what you're saying. They're paying attention to the way you look, how you're leaning in. Are you excited? Are you enthusiastic? Do you believe in what you're doing? You can't communicate that via Zoom with a glad bag on your head. That's why we ask people to cam up, right? That's why if you notice during our presentations, the presentations where the most people enroll are the presentations where people have cammed up because they feel comfortable. They're in a room with strangers, but they can see our faces. They can see us smiling. We're giving our testimonies. They see us joking and interacting with each other. They know that it's real, right? So you can utilize the Facebook to post pictures of individuals whom you're working with and share testimonies about different things that are happening in the marketplace. Pretty cool. We have our Teen New Horizons mailing list where you can scan that PR, Miss Webb, you handle that, okay? That QR code. And you can join our email list. And I know some of you may be saying, look, that's a lot, Mr. Buford. You just shared a lot. We got all these tools. That's a lot of tools. Well, if you're going to build a big business, you're going to need big business tools. That's what these are, right? We've created the infrastructure. We've created the foundation where if somebody wants to come into Team New Horizons, you can go from 0 to 100K to 250K to 500K to $1 million. It's your choice. There's nothing stopping you but you. That's why all these tools are here, because you can't do that without these type of tools being available to you. You're not going to be able to, once again, create expectations all the time. You're not going to be able to reach everybody all the time. That's why these tools are here. Once again, you're not going to be able to communicate for those who choose to be accountable, right? Who actually want to be accountable to their own success. You aren't going to be able to train everybody. At some point, you got to start utilizing these tools to help people get trained. And once again, inspiring people, particularly people who don't believe in themselves, OMG, right? You're going to need someone to help you with that heavy lifting. And so that's what I want to talk about in terms of the tools are available to you to help you build your business, particularly if you're new, because you may not even be aware that all these different resources are available to you. And I promise you, I didn't go through 1/3 of them tonight. I didn't. I did not cover 1/3 of the tools are available to you. But I want you to know that there are things available to you to help you support and grow your business, and definitely get back one of our partners and get back to leadership after this is concluded to get questions answered about how to best utilize these tools to scale and level up in your business. And then, of course, the tool, right, or the event that we have that you've been hearing about probably day and night, all day, every day. I hope everyone is harassing. Yes, I said it, harassing all your teammates to get here, right? This is going to be a very, very important tool. Look, in entrepreneurship, there's levels. There's levels. Entrepreneurs operating at 30K per year operates different from someone at 60K. There's levels. Entrepreneurship that operates at 100K knows, moves different, has different experiences, knows different things, has a different knowledge and skill stack than someone who's earning 60K. Entrepreneur that's on their way to 250 or earning 250, different skill stack. There's levels, right? We're going to have Mr. Hoffman. I think he's on a real high level. I know he's knocking down at least at his peak with his business $500,000 a year. For God's sakes, the guy doesn't even travel in his car majority of the time. He travels utilizing a jet. That should tell you everything you need to know about Mr. Hoffman. There's levels. We're going to have him participate in this boot camp this upcoming Saturday for the actual boot camp itself, not the mix and mingle. There's levels. And if you want to learn what other people learn, you want to do what other people do, you need to be in the room and find out what those things are. I am humble enough to step aside and get out the way and let someone who is earning $500,000 to $1 million a year teach you how to get there, right? There's levels. You need to be there to get access to those levels. There are some of us who know how to have $1,000 days. There's some of us who know how to have $30,000 a month. There's levels to this business. And if you want to know how to have a $30,000 a month part-time spare time, you want to be at that boot camp, because there's levels to this business. You might be just starting out and you're like, hey, I just want to earn extra $500 to $1,000. How do I do that part-time spare time? I don't have a lot of time. I got children responsibilities. I'm going to school. I got all these different, how do I do that? There's levels, right, to business. And this is a chance for you to level up, right? It's a chance for you to come into this event and come out brand new. So the things that you didn't know, you're going to know. And you're going to replace the things that you didn't know with the things that you're going to learn here at this event. This event is all about helping you to level up. It's about condensing your learning curve. We're going to share information during this boot camp that it normally takes 3 years for people to understand. 3 years. So we're going to cram 3 years of training, understanding, tutelage, the whole 9 yards into literally 3 hours on a Friday. And to be transparent with you, it's not going to go to 5 p.m. I'm just being transparent. And 5 hours on a Saturday. So we're going to cram 3 years into that. And if you've been doing it wrong for 3 years, we're going to cram 3 years of how to do it right during this boot camp. And for those individuals who are like, look, I did not come to this business to play games. I came to this business because I believe I deserve financial independence and freedom. And I know there are other people who have it, who are not smart as me. They aren't as talented as me. They're not as deserved as I am. I know this is fertile ground. It's happening all day, every day. I'm on Slack. I see what's going down. I want to participate. That's why you need to come to that boot camp. Okay. So know that is available to you. I know Ms. Webb will be posting in Slack, and she'll probably get on my head a couple times about how to more effectively get this information to you on Facebook as well. But that's the talk I wanted to have with you tonight. The ultimate goal here at Team New Rise is to help turn people into effective entrepreneurs. It's not a game. I know you thought it was about just marketing memberships. I know you thought about just earning money. Earning money is one thing. Building a business that pays you income, whether you go to work or not, is something totally different, right? And at Team New Rising, that's what this is ultimately about, right? Empowering people to level up, have what they need at their kitchen tables in their community. All right. So after talking way too much today, I'm losing my breath. Again, stop. Talk to me. Questions, feedback.
Maya did have a question in the chat earlier.
Somebody had a question in the chat?
Yeah, Maya had a question in the chat earlier.
Okay. You already know I was not in the chat. I was in the screen. I'm trying to get to the chat. My thing is not cooperating. Okay, so let me do it from the iPad.
Maya, did you want to come off mute and ask your question?
Yeah, that would be a great help, Maya, because
I got an answer to it, but I was just saying, what was your go-to sizzle when you were sitting down at the airport, or you walk up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" at a coffee shop or whatever? What is your go-to, like, it is a good introduction, that like short sizzle video that you prefer to use?
if I'm going to do the short sizzle video, and I know I'm doing
Well,
for business owner, because keep
yeah,
in mind, you know who I target, right? I sniff out the business owners.
yeah,
That's what I'm looking for. I'm not saying
yeah,
I don't enroll non-business, but you know I'm always sniffing out the business owners.
yeah.
So I like that quick video that's like 3, maybe 5 minutes. I think it's like 3 minutes. There's a video where it's the law firms, it's the attorneys actually talking to their passion and how they help business owners. I think that's so powerful. Where people can actually see the actual attorney saying, no, we're real. Like, this is what we will do. This is what we're here for. Because, business owners, we don't want to hear the fluff. Like, are you real? Is it, if I pay for this, are you going to do what you say you're going to do? I love that sizzle. That's one of my favorite tools. My other favorite tool, and sometimes they have it back there and sometimes they don't. I don't know why they keep doing that. But I have that 101 reasons saved. That's one of my favorite tools. The 101 reasons. Because it takes all excuses out of it. There's 101 ways you can utilize this service.
Okay,
Right?
I use
That's that's one of my favorite tools.
I didn't know about. Do you know what the one with the attorneys on it, what it starts with, or who it look, what it like, the title of it, or who's on the front of it, the cover? Or you can just,
Well,
how about
let's do
Is it the one?
I don't,
Is it the one with the 2 attorneys? Because I got that link. That's the one I sent to everybody.
Yep.
Okay, I'll drop the link in here in the chat real quick.
Cool.
thank
You.
So the other tool that I use most frequently is, you can send your app to people. Like, you can literally send, it's a share link where you can literally send your app to other people's phones. Now, why is this powerful? Because if they decide to get the service a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 years from now, if that app is on their phone when they activate their membership, guess who's always going to get credit for
it. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So those are the tools I tend to lean on. If I know somebody's really, really super interested, like they really want to get it and they're not messing around, I use that YouTube video. And I'm going to keep using that YouTube video until corporate creates a version of it that we can use. That YouTube video, for me, closes 90% of the people that I deal with. 90% of the people who watch that YouTube video get the service. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you for the question. Any additional questions before we wrap up? Especially for the new partners, don't be shy. And even the season, don't be shy, right? This is a talk. It's a training if you take action. Otherwise, all I did was make my throat more drier and tired. It's not really of any value. if you don't take the information and do something with it. It was just a talk tonight. I want it to be a training. Any additional questions in terms of what was shared with you? Any clarification needed? Questions going once. Questions going twice. Questions going thrice. All right. Look, so for everyone who is going to attend the boot camp, please register. I'm using the head count to determine how much food and what kind of orders are going to be made. I need the head count. We need to get people to register. I'm not going to wait until Thursday evening to order this stuff so the restaurant has an excuse to mess up the order. I want to place the order tonight so everything is taken care of well in advance and we don't have to worry about that. So definitely what I encourage you to do, if you're going to attend, please don't wait till Friday to register. We need that head count so I can know how much food to actually order. Because I'm be transparent with you, I'm about to place the order tentatively now, but if I get the head count, I can tell them, hey, we need this extra amount of plates or we need this extra that. It's the same thing when we're ordering for lunch on Saturday. We need the head count Saturday more than anything else. Because that's not being catered. I'm going through a company to, Subway, to actually deliver the food. And they don't do changes. Okay. They hit that debit or credit card. And if you want to change that order, too bad. So I don't want to have a situation where probably somebody sitting in the corner upset and mad because they don't have a sandwich. Let me stop misbehaving. But anyway, please register at the worst case scenario. If not tonight, please register by tomorrow. All right. If no one has any additional feedback, I'm going to go ahead, press pause, sip some more lemon water, and get ready for the next phase of the evening. Questions again, feedback? We good? Feel good? All right. Yes. All right. Everyone have a fantastic evening. Goodbye for now.